Good morning, everyone. I'm John Miller from PropaneBuzz.com. Going to talk about this week's EIA report here in a second. Want to introduce an anchor sponsor for Propane Buzz. Glad to announce that Alliance Energy Services has jumped on board as a sponsor of the Propane Buzz. They are a supplier in the propane industry, multiple supply options, rail supply, refineries, pipeline supply, all of the major pipelines, TEPCO, Enterprise, Dixie, ONEOK, New Star, higher winter ratio supply programs available, physical storage opportunities and options around the country. Click on the link below or the banner ad that you see on the email that you receive for this to learn more about them. Glad to have them on board. Thank you so much for your support, and also to all of you watching this and then reading these each week. Thank you so much for your support as well, especially to the subscribers to Propane Buzz. Let's dive in and take a look at the information right now. Let's start with crude, 6.8 million barrel build. Last night, the APIs came out about 3:30 Central Time, showed a 3.6 million barrel build. Crude oil began to tank. And this is even more bearish than that because the marketplace was expecting a 2.5 million barrel draw. We're still at the tail end of the summer driving season. You don't expect to see a build of this level. And look at what we have right now. We have blood on the streets in crude oil. And that's, I don't want to say it's likely to continue the rest of the day because on Monday, crude oil was down below 66 in the 65 range. And then it rallied back to, be down just 43 cents on the day. But right now, this is exactly what you would expect to see from a report like this. Let's dive into propane. 3.4 million barrel build. In the report I sent out to subscribers yesterday, I was saying looking for, anything below 1.5 million barrel build this week was going to be very bearish because we need to average 1.5 million barrels over the next 9 reporting weeks to get to around 80 million barrels, which some traders are beginning to express some concerns about not being enough inventory because of how strong the propane export market is, how strong it looks to remain as the trading arb is open. And exports this week were around 950,000 barrels per day, which is still really strong, but production rather demand was off about 50% from last week, and that's how you get this 3.4 million barrel build. Looking over at the export history, so 981,000 barrels per day this week of propane exports, 3.4 build. We're at 69.9 million barrels of total inventory now on hand, which is 500,000 barrels more than last year, this same week of the calendar year. But look at this export column. Look at these numbers right here. I mean, going back to July 6th, that's 4.6 million barrel per day. Crude oil, for this year, you're looking at 5.8. So you're talking about significantly stronger exports this year than last, which is why you really like to see inventories get to that 85, 90, 95 million barrel range. This certainly helps. 3.4 million barrels is, 2 weeks extra of 1.5 million barrel per day, or million barrel builds. So we've got 8 more reporting periods now. We're at 69.8 million barrels. Seems very likely we're going to surpass last year's total unless something really, really weird happens along the way. Let's go down and dive in and look at a couple other aspects. I want to see where production was. I'm guessing it's about 1.9. Yep, 1.946. So we've averaged 1.942. The last 4-week average a year ago was 1.858, so about 100,000 barrels additional per day. Down on exports right now, again, 981,000 barrels per day. 4-week average of 1.065. Last year, the 4-week average of 743. So we're about 300,000 barrels per day more of exports this year than last. 100,000 barrels per day stronger production, so that's 200,000 barrels per day of net increase. But this number right here, this crazy up and down yo-yo demand number that I've said before, I think they just plugged that thing in. 593 from 1064. 1064 seemed too high last week. 593 seems a little bit low. 4-week average of 827. Well, maybe it's Goldilocks. Maybe that's just about right. Other aspects going on right now in energies, just every headline I'm reading today, and as I sent out to subscribers this morning, bearish. Global economic outlook is darkening. Contagion possibilities with the Turkish lira and economy going out and impacting other emerging markets or emerging market economies throughout the world. How that's all going to have a drag and draw on energy consumption as the economy slow down. And Again, there you go. You get a 6.6 million barrel build in crude oil. The bears are on the loose, at least for this 10 seconds. We'll have more later today in an article when I dive in a little bit deeper of all this. Thanks for watching.